You are listening to Stories from the Field by the Institute for Education Innovation, hosted by me, Doug Roberts. Welcome back. Stories from the Field, the Superintendent Podcast. Glad you're here. Really glad to have our new friend, Tim Wolff, who's the Director of HR in Scranton Public Schools in PA. How you doing, Tim?
Excellent. How about yourself?
Good. Thanks for coming out. What you had a couple of like good one-liners when we were introduced to you yesterday about Scranton and the office, and
right.
That's a lot of the stuff in the show is like kind of real about Scranton, right?
Right. So I am from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Born and raised?
What's that?
Born and raised?
Correct. Yeah, I spent about a year and a half when I was younger in California. My family went out there, but basically in Scranton, the Electric City. And we are home to the office. And so, people will ask me, are you frustrated? Do you hear that all the time? And the answer is yes, but we embrace it. It's fantastic. My wife and I are actually running the office 5K in a couple of weeks. People dress up in their costumes. It's really, really great. So the city has embraced it and we're happy.
You got to embrace it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you find yourself in public education? What's your sort of journey?
So I was lucky. I'm one of, I think, a small percentage of people who I knew what I wanted to do at a very, very early age. I knew I wanted to be an educator. So I went into health and physical education. I was a coach. I taught for about 12 years. I then became an assistant principal, eventually became a principal of an elementary school, Whittier Elementary, K-5 school. And I learned a lot, and it was great. And so once I got to that point, I had some discussions with the superintendent at the time, and HR became available. And I wanted to hopefully expand on what my own base was, but also help others in the process.
Yeah, great. Do you think this is your final role, or do you think about other roles after this?
Well, that's a good question. I do enjoy human resources from a standpoint of I am able to help people, right? And as a central administrator and eventually, potentially a superintendent, although we don't work directly with our students, we are able to work directly with the people who work directly with our students. Yeah. So I do enjoy my role. My team and human resources is fantastic. But I do at some point aspire to be a superintendent.
Do you ever get any Toby jokes?
What's that?
Any Toby jokes? HR?
No.
He's the HR guy in this.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten any of those, but no, I haven't at this point.
Okay. So tell us about what's going on in Scranton Public Schools. What are you all working on right now? Like, what are some of the wins you've had this year?
Right. So our district faced some challenges, and within the last 5 years or so, we had some leadership come in, make some very difficult decisions, but through those difficult decisions, we came out better. So we were a little bit more financially stable. And so some of the work we're doing right now, our superintendent, who is Dr. Erin Keating. She's been on board for approximately 1 year at this point. So we're building culture. Mm-hmm. We're building trust with our people. We're very happy that we're restoring some of the programs and services that went away during some of those tough decisions. Okay. So we're really excited about that. And I'm fortunate she allowed me this opportunity to be here today. So it's great to work with all these educators in this forum. Thank you,
Dr. Keating. We love meeting Tim. And we've been really glad to have Scranton in the group this last year. It's been good. What are the kind of, when you think about your role? We've talked a lot here at the District Leader Connect about resilience and self-care and communication, and what are the big initiatives that you've got going right now as Director of HR? Like, what are the things that are keeping you up at night?
So I think those are two different things. I think some of the things that we're working on are really positive things that we seek feedback. The HR office seeks feedback, and just as, or more importantly, we try and follow through on the feedback we get from our stakeholders internally. So those are some of the things that we've done. I think particularly this morning's sessions were extremely productive and really got the wheels turning in my head on how we can recognize more of our staff, give positive recognition to those people, little things big things, the conversations that I've had with the other educators in the room have been absolutely fantastic. So I think those are some of the things, a lot of the takeaways we're going to go moving forward. Things that keep me up at night from the HR standpoint, healthcare, insurance, things like that, people depend on me and their family.
Right. Do you have open positions? Are you guys how are you doing with your attrition?
So we've been very fortunate. We've worked through human resources, again, not working directly with students, but we've expedited the process of allowing our principals the opportunity to get high quality and talented teachers. Yeah. We've been fortunate the last 2 years. We've had 100% capacity. We filled every single one of our positions. Yeah, it's really good. And our retention is improving as well. So we're definitely going in the right direction. We have a lot of positions that will be available, but we feel good about our recruiting and retention efforts at this time.
What do you do for induction, sort of helping people kind of come into their roles, and how do you sort of, you said you've improved retention. So what do you think's gone into that?
So I think there's a number of things, but 2 years ago, we had an early bird contract with our teachers union, which made our salaries more competitive, right? So that was a big piece to the puzzle. Salaries aren't everything, right? So in addition to that, we added an additional day to the school year for our new teachers. But it built on our new teacher induction program. Okay. So we went from 1 day to 2 days. So we feel like we're supporting our teachers in a better way, not only at the beginning of the school year, but throughout the school year, working with our teachers union and also the other superintendent and central level administrators to really work to support our people. I think those are the things that make a difference, right? Yeah. So we're lucky that we're definitely moving in the right direction, and we're looking to build on our foundation.
Yeah, great. So I'd love to talk first about you and your experience with mentors in your career, but I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about how that kind of plays out in your role. But first about you, can you think of a time when you had a mentor or mentors who reached out and it really kind of changed the trajectory of your career, and tell us a little bit about what that was like?
Sure. So I was fortunate to have a number of great mentors throughout my career. My first administrative position, I began about 3/4 of the way through the school year. And I was paired up with one of my basketball coaches, my high school basketball coaches. So there was a level of familiarity with him. And so he kind of guided me and showed me the ropes, transitioning from a teacher role now into an administrative role. Some of the best advice he ever gave me was, be you. Yeah. You got to be you. You learn from other people, but you have to be you. So I was very, very fortunate to have him in place. Dr. Keating, we joke now, but she worked in our district prior. Okay. And a lot of the lessons that I learned from her really stuck with me. Yeah. She didn't know how well it stuck with me, but I tell her, regularly now. So again, I'm fortunate to have her when she was with our district previously. Yeah. But now it's reinforced even more. Yep. And she's now in the chair, right? She's the superintendent. Right. So to relay that knowledge and that experience and kind of live with her through some of the challenges and the wins and challenges in the district has been really beneficial to me.
Did you need someone to convince you that you could lead, or did you just know it?
I think I felt in my bones that I have leadership skills. And I that might be a little much, but I do. I feel like, how I honed it, how mentors brought it out in me, how they maybe positively reinforced some of the things that I did well, but also provided quality feedback to force me into reflection and to kind of adjust how I handle things. It was really beneficial. So I think that it was kind of built, but I've benefited from multiple people guiding and helping throughout the process.
Very cool. And then how do you see yourself now as a mentor to others? What are you doing to sort of, how might you be trying to pay that forward to the next generation?
Right. So I'll start in the HR office. I'm extremely fortunate, as I mentioned earlier, to have an outstanding team. So a lot of the higher level things that I deal with, I try and include, my assistant director of human resources and other team members into, whether it's a decision-making process or just giving the background. So on what's going on and how I navigate it. And I seek feedback. So I think within the HR office, that's how I, try and pass that along.
Okay.
We're district-wide, we're trying to, from a central level administrator position, we're trying to build capacity in our not only our teachers, but our administrators as well. So we're in the process of developing and implementing a plan to kind of pass on the knowledge as a former elementary principal to the next group of administrators, working with my colleagues and also Dr. Keating, but our colleagues, and how we can pass on that knowledge. And, maybe that works for another principal. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just spurns a thought. So we're trying to build capacity and create an environment where others can learn and grow.
Yeah. We're in a session where we were talking about how the programs that are supposed to prepare, whether it's superintendent or any administrator, they don't always prepare you very well for it at all. Is it possible to prepare for this job?
I think you can set a good foundation, and you can have a good knowledge base, and you can read, and you can study, and you can listen to people. But I agree with the previous speaker. Like you can't understand it until you're in the chair, right? Until you're wearing those shoes. So I think that there's things you can put yourself in the best position to be successful when you get there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, until you're the one wearing those shoes, it's very difficult. And to the theme of mentors, mentees, to have a network. And that's one of the things that IEI is kind of helping me expand that network. So I have additional resources to lean on to get me, to get whoever it is through those situations.
Yeah. Is that something that there are places where this is now becoming controversial to go travel someplace and go network as an educational leader? Like, we don't want you talking to people from other districts. We want you here.
Right.
Is that something that you all think about, and the optics of going to an event to build your professional network and learn?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's a real situation that occurs in many districts.
Yeah.
I think that our district for a while, quite honestly, didn't have the funding or the financial resources to send, whether it was stick with superintendents and central administrators. We didn't have the resources to do it. But we've been fortunate now to be able to send people out, including myself. We're participating in another program. But I will say that it does present other challenges, right? Because the email machine doesn't stop, right? If you're out, but you have to trust that building your network, learning from others, maybe you bring back hopefully at least one, but more things that can make your organization more efficient and help other people in that process.
Yeah. What is your least favorite mandatory HR training? Sit through and administer. What does everyone complain about?
Yeah, there's a lot of state requirements within our state that absolutely is required.
Bloodborne pathogens.
Yeah, that one's not fun. I almost feel like I'm an expert when I don't necessarily need to be an expert. We call the people who do that type of thing. Typically if there's
it's important,
an issue.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Well, great. So tell us a little bit, about what do you think next year is looking like for Scranton Public Schools? What are you guys excited about?
So I think for the last year or two, we've been saying that the nose of the plane is pointed up, right? Yeah. And so I think we're continuing to build and build and build.
Is this the old metaphor about building the plane while we fly it?
We're doing that.
But you're
less frequently now. We were doing it a lot more before, but I think now we're building the plane on the ground, more frequently. So our teacher talent pool is increasing. Our capacity of our teachers and central administrators is building, which ultimately we want to help kids, right? And that's ultimately the goal. And I feel very good about where Scranton is now and where we're going in the future.
Well, great. Thanks for sitting down there. I really appreciate it, Tim. Thanks for being here and being such a great contributor.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe and follow IEI for more stories at ieik12.com/podcast.